My name is David Housden. I'm a composer for video games. Some of the more kind of visceral inspirations for me tend to be the artwork, actually. We've got a fantastic art director on the project. I was sent some of his work very early on, and I could hear notes forming in my head just from kind of looking at some of the environments that he'd created, and that was a big help. An equal inspiration for me is also the creative relationship that I have with Ben on the project. His way with words and the stories that he creates, they inspire something profound in me creatively that the music kind of writes itself. It's a very rare thing to have, but I've never had a day of writer's block working with either of these guys, and I can just sit down and the music just flows. So they're probably my biggest inspirations. In terms of other music, we really liked the score for Bloodborne. Some of the gothic elements of that were very present in what we wanted to achieve here. If I've done my job correctly, the players should be feeling precisely what the narrative dictates that they should be feeling at any given point in time. It's my job to bring out the subtext and to lay bare the emotions that may not always be kind of present while the player is kind of traversing from A to B, but at all times the story, for me, the story should be present in players' minds, even if it's not kind of being overtly displayed. So if I've done my job correctly, I should be reinforcing the narrative at all times. So the main themes of Lunar Abyss for me are an overriding sense of melancholy, sadness, and that may not be everyone's kind of first take because it's such I don't know, kind of a visceral, dark landscape that's being created, but there's a real just overriding sadness to the story for me, and that was something that I really wanted to tap into musically and yeah, just bring out some of the more kind of subtle emotions. So that's what I hope the players feel from the score.
My name's Benny Hill and I am the creative director at Bonsai Collective. My main kind of role on the project is to oversee the various different areas such as design, story and sound and music, and hopefully bring it all together in a cogent kind of manner. All aspects of the game, such as gameplay, the environment and the story, all need like that emotive kind of quality as we move through that kind of space, and what music really brings to all aspects of the game, whether it's exploration, whether it's fighting enemies, or whether it's hearing, you know, the dialogue from the characters. It allows to heighten all those emotional kind of beats within the game and really instill that feeling that we want the players to have as they move through the game world. Well, I've worked with David multiple times on various projects, so we already have an existing relationship, and it's a really great relationship. Generally, the way that we work is from a point of reference, whether that is visual or whether it is metaphorical or whether it is other kind of audio that we think kind of will work with the game. We bring all of that information together with world building as well, and we essentially create kind of a reference pool to discuss what is Lunar, what does Lunar potentially kind of sound like. And in the case of this game, we have a real mixture of industrial, ambient and gothic kind of tones and kind of notes that run through the story. And once we've kind of done that, then we begin kind of iterating and sketching and kind of bringing that together into something that really connects with the game experience that we're crafting on the development side of things.
My name's Laura Maurer and I'm the narrative designer at Bonsai Collective, and I'm responsible for a lot of the story work. So that means the overarching plot narrative and script, so you know, the things the characters say, the lore behind it and things like that. I think it's really important for story to have music behind it. I think a story and dialogue can carry so far, but I think that it's the music that you tend to remember. Obviously, in an ideal world, you'd remember the lines and you'd remember the things that the characters say, but I think a lot of the time, the things that you look back on as emotional memories is the music, is the soundtrack, is the music that was playing at that moment. And you know, maybe you remember a little bit of dialogue that comes with it that happened at that moment, but I think the music is really kind of the emotional powerhouse of the narrative. It was quite hard because obviously it was going to be translated into Latin and I don't speak Latin, so. But my main inspiration was actually, I was O Fortuna, which is, I can't remember what, I think it's in the Omen, isn't it, O Fortuna? And sort of it's very staccato Latin, the way that it's chanted. So it was trying to think of sentences that were not overlong in English, and trying to imagine how that would then translate and also just picking out really key story elements and key themes that would translate well to lyrics.